Here, Echo.
Hey, so most of this video is sped up 105% or more to cut down on the runtime, including this clip of me talking and this clip of me playing. So all the playing examples are gonna be sped up like a half step higher, but I can't guarantee that. The only place where it's normal is the very end where I crash Barry's gig at some jazz club in Bologna, Italy. What's up, everyone? This is Jeremy versus Jazz. This is Guitarist freaking hard. So what this video is me attempting to explain Barry's scale outline for There Will Never Be Another You. He calls for specific scales over each chord or set of chords. Like I said in other videos, Chris Parks told us his friend calls it Barry's playground when you get the concepts under your fingers, because it opens so many doors, both harmonically and melodically. One of the biggest revelations I've come across with Barry's scale outlines over tunes is when you get to a minor 2/5, what do you do there? Newsflash, it ain't harmonic minor. With There Will Never Be Another You, you have a D minor 7 flat 5 going to a G7, resolving to a C minor. What Barry calls for over that D minor 7 flat 5 to G7 is a B flat 7 scale up and down to the third of the G. So over. Most people would play a C harmonic minor there, but that's not what Barry does. So right now you're saying, why the fuck would I play a B flat 7 scale over a D minor 7 flat 5 going to a G7 or a G7 altered? Wouldn't I play C harmonic minor there like I always do? In Barry's world, no, you don't. Over the D minor 7 flat 5 to G, you just play a B flat 7. Why, you ask? Because a D minor 7 flat 5 is the same as a B flat 9. It's the Stormy Monday chord. Well, look at that grip. That's a D minor 7 flat 5 and a B flat 9. So he plays B flat 7 scale. Anytime you see a minor 2/5, he's gonna play a 7 scale, or a dominant or mixolydian scale, whatever you want to call it, over the first two chords. So the last thing that we should probably address is, why does a B flat 7 going to the third of G work over not just the D minor 7 flat 5, which I explained is the same as a B flat 9, so that makes sense, all the notes are the same. But why would a B flat 7 scale sound good over the G7? So because you're playing it over both D minor 7 flat 5 and the G7 altered. Well, without getting into a lot of detail, basically B flat 7, G7, D flat 7, and E7 are all family members. That means they're all derived from the same diminished. This stuff is all part of what's known as Barry's creation theory. It starts with the chromatic scale as kind of the overarching thing. Then that splits off into 2 whole tone scales, which splits off into 3 diminished scales, and you get 4 dominants off of each of those diminished. There's more to it than that. Look it up, Barry Harris creation theory. So with B flat, if you lower one note, the B to B flat, on a B diminished, you get B flat. B diminished is the same as G sharp or A flat diminished. If you lower the A flat to G, you get a G7. Lower any note of a diminished chord to get a dominant chord. So if you move 7 chords up in minor thirds, just like you can do with diminished, it makes sense. It's part of what Barry calls playing with family. And then when you get to the C minor chord, or the C minor 6 chord in his world, that minor, he's gonna solo using the C minor 6 diminished, which is like a C harmonic minor and a C melodic minor put together. So it's the best of both worlds. And that scale sounds like this. By the way, guys like Ornette Coleman, James Blood Ulmer, and Jamaluddin Takuma, among others, played a style of jazz called harmolodic. That's something different. Anyhow, moving on. The point of this video was to play Barry's scale outline for There Will Never Be Another You. over the tune so you can see how it lines up. And then I found this cool clip, courtesy of a Polish pianist and Barry superfan, of Barry playing in Bologna, Italy. But I thought it'd be cool to play his scale outline while he's soloing so you could hear where it lines up and maybe where he diverges, which he does a lot, of course. But this is what he's thinking. The scales that you're going to hear me playing are what he's thinking in his head. He's just doing Barry stuff to them, which is the whole point of studying the Barry stuff. And I haven't even shown you the whole scale outline. We've been talking about one little 3-bar section. I mean, here's my chart with the scale notes scribbled on it. Obviously, it would take forever to explain all this. I highly recommend you Google Barry Harris scales on There Will Never Be Another You, and you're going to find a ton of people way more qualified, including the man himself, Chris Parks, to teach this stuff than me. One more side note, the opening of the tune, he, of course, plays the head, There Will Never Be Another You, the melody, and he's comping all over it using all of his harmonic concepts, his chording, and I'm just trying to comp and stay in the background and imagine if I was there on that bandstand and try not to get the kicked off. But the point is his first solo chorus. That's where you're gonna hear me play his scale outline for There Will Never Be Another You. Jazz is fucking hard. Jazz guitar is really fucking hard.
Like and subscribe, please. I need to get to 250 this weekend. Special surprise. For number 250, I'm gonna give you $1 trillion.
Man, if you made it this far, all I can say is thank you. Making videos is hard. I should have been practicing. I did have to practice some to make this video, but I spent way more time dicking around trying to make a funny video. Anyhow, this is Jeremy versus Jazz, and you've been watching Guitarist fucking hard!